who's got the guts, who's got the balls to go into that to that next fight. And it looks like we've got GaRpY getting clutch out actually for Blood Covenant. I'm curious to see now if wichtL is going to be playing him as well. I did tip off GaRpY that we see Anarchy, Nyx, and clutch, so I hope I'm not wrong. Slightly wrong. I'm sorry, GaRpY.
You're throwing already.
I said Sorlag was a possibility, so I don't feel too bad. But yeah, I'm going to try and be professional and unbiased, and I'm rooting for them both equally.
I can see the shirt you're wearing under your dress shirt right now. Yeah, no, so one thing I want to talk about before we do fully get to game, we discussed, is that GaRpY had a lackluster start to the DueL qualifier. And I did talk to him, and he was saying, yeah, earlier on, he was kind of playing with no brain. And he hates to do that. He hates to have to rely on his aim here. So can you kind of describe to us his play style coming into this match? Like, if you know, the ideal world GaRpY, nothing's getting to him. How's he gonna play? Like, what's his mind?
He loves to out-aim people, and that may be what he was trying to do a little bit too much in the morning, which is what faltered so much for him. His movement's great. He can be very unpredictable with that, and he can really double back into fights very, very well. As a UK gamer, his aim is really underappreciated, I think, and just his general combat skills. So we'll have to see if he's got those smart tricks up his sleeves and actually see what pans out.
One thing he did mention to me is that he likes to be really aggressive at the beginning just to feel out his opponent. Apply the pressure early on, see how he's going to react to it, and then alter his style depending on what response he sees out of, most importantly here, wichtL, who's going to be on Anarchy versus Anarchy. I keep doing that. Like Anarchy against Anarchy.
No, I love this matchup, and particularly between these two players, who are two of the best, really, when it comes down to this. I'm sure there's definitely other names you can put in that pile, but when you want to see some people making crazy moves with this champion, these are definitely two top picks for you.
Well, considering the speed for the the newer players out there that we can see provided with this champion, what's like the ideal weapon to kill them with, or ideal weapon to fight them with? Because Rail's obviously going to be very difficult to hit.
Well, Rail is great to get those long-range fights going, but honestly, rockets, if you can get a close LG to rocket combo going off or something along those lines, that's ideal. But it can really be a mishmash of anything, because sometimes you've just got to corner them somehow or find that last second rail or something along those lines. And we're getting an early shot here from GaRpY.
Yeah, speaking of rails, you can't survive too many of those.
And I think wichtL, he's got, okay, I got hit by rail, and he even saw that and was like, oh, I missed it on my jump. I can't even hang around because I know that I'm railable and I just need to get out of here. I need to use my movement, and I need to ensure that I'm not visible to GaRpY at this point. And this is why you can get very fast games that are also just strangely very slow because of the way they want to play the map.
Well, this is definitely one of the champions of the game that's very susceptible to being blown up really quickly. Very low HP, very fast, as you mentioned. No speed cap. And we're seeing, the movement potential out of these two. The rockets are coming through, and just like that, GaRpY gets the initial frag. He's going to pick up the heavy armor, and he's maybe looking for Mega, too. He should ideally have the timing on it. wichtL, sorry, switched over to the Sorlag. But he's not going to have a chance to pick up any of these pickups, and not to mention really any guns at the moment. Just sitting there with the LG trying to fight the high-end battle, which is not a battle you're ever going to win. But he doesn't pick the acid. He knows exactly where GaRpY's going to be going. It's not going to get the kill, but he gets the damage nonetheless.
That was actually really sick by wichtL. He got 2 of the direct shots with the acid, and it even makes it difficult for GaRpY to challenge onto this armor. 3 seconds to go. He's not available, although I don't believe wichtL has that weapon.
I don't believe he has it either, actually. And he also has the injection here for GaRpY, so he could afford to go for this fight. But again, being very smart, very methodical about how he wants to play this. Not investing too much. He has the champion lead. There's no need to get aggressive, lose out on a champion, and tie things up. Pick up the Mega, pick up the Heavy, and keep this control that you've had over this game.
Sorlag's actually, he's getting great shots, and he's actually playing against the Sorlag very well. And I was about to say that this is a matchup that can actually favor Sorlag quite considerably, just because of the damage output potential you have with all that acid connecting, with the low health pool for Anarchy, and the fact that you're also going to be shooting at the same time. So GaRpY is going to desperately avoid getting in a close corridor fight with wichtL.
The thing we do have to mention, though, is on Sorlag, you do have a speed cap. So the only way to kind of counter that is to use rockets to actually blast you across the map, which gives your position away. Obviously, there's a lot of damage to you. So I feel like if you're playing Sorlag, you have to have decent control of these pickups to maintain that HP, to keep that movement around the map, to keep that pressure on to your opponent. Yeah,
absolutely. When you're fully stacked and you've taken a Mega and you've taken a big armor, you can get a couple of rocket jumps going, and you can really get some speed around the map. And maybe if you're not overstacked on any level, then you've got to be a little bit more cautious of how you're using your health and armor.
What's disgusting here is that GaRpY he's hitting these pot shots, you know? He's not going for kills, he just keeps constantly applying this damage. And I feel like wichtL just hasn't been able to get comfortable yet, because every time he gets in a good place with stack-wise, another 80 or 90 damage comes through, and he has to restack yet again here to be able to get these duels.
Well, that was actually a pretty meaty rocket from wichtL himself just then. The problem is, although GaRpY's landing some great shots, this might be really bad for him. Another rail misses for wichtL, so that allows GaRpY to get out of here. It's actually game point with just a minute left. GaRpY, probably in about 10-20 seconds, is going to be thinking, let's play the clock.
I mean, he's fast enough to do it, right? He's getting the CDR as well, just to make sure to build up this injection yet again. He just needs to keep his distance from wichtL. He does hit a nice rail yet again, able to keep this pressure on. wichtL's running out of time. 45 seconds left to go, and for some reason, GaRpY actually is just continuing to battle this one out. Hits another rail shot, looking for the 30. Can't connect it just yet because he switched over the rocket. This is wichtL able to pick up the heavy armor. 30 seconds left to go here, Zoot. This is his chance.
This is a big pickup as well for wichtL. He needed that bump of health. He's got a last opportunity, and he needs to somehow get close. The asset doesn't really connect with anything, but GaRpY is so weak. He was just in the middle floor, not really doing much. He needed an escape route, and that's the wrong option for him.
Well, no, this does give GaRpY now the chance, like the opportunity to choose, okay, what champion do I want to play against Sorlag with? Because we're going to run out of time. There's the chance of a kill coming through here should be ideally low, but 5 seconds left to go. He's going to go for the charge. His shield's going to be there. He's not able to LG through it, but the health is just not there for GaRpY. 1 second left. He's still going to go for the chase of sudden death. He doesn't connect that final rail, which would have finished GaRpY off.
wichtL's missing everything with rail. He should have got that kill just then. That was all for him. There's so much trouble for GaRpY. He's on 16 points of health. I don't really know how he's going to stay alive. wichtL is not giving respect just yet. There's the rockets. LG finally comes out from wichtL, but GaRpY's going to be annoyed at that, and that's actually the beginning of what could be a bad run for the Brit.
I'm annoyed watching that almost. You had GaRpY with the lead for like 4 minutes and 58 seconds of time, and then just like that, he gets caught off from like a misplay.
Yeah.
And wichtL, gotta give him credit. You can't say GaRpY, you know, necessarily messed that one up, but wichtL took advantage of that situation, took advantage of that mistake to the perfect ability, and was able to pick up that first round.
I'm close to using the C word, choke.
Oh, I thought I was.
Just then it's.
I'm used to a different C word. I usually cast an Australian.
And he's going to want to make sure he doesn't repeat that, because I know there'll be people watching behind going like, what was he doing? And he's going to know it. He'll recognize it, and he is absolutely justified. Ooh, that rocket was so close. Great rail from wichtL, but the return fire from GaRpY was equally important to keep him at bay.
You pointed out the movement, you know, wichtL, you know, before we did start this match, and it's just been flawless out of this man. He's constantly jumping around this map, making it so hard for GaRpY to hit. That rocket doing a nice 68 damage, and he's going for the chaser with the LG right up in his face. Injection's going to be used. He has his own injection, but he hasn't popped it off just yet. Finally, able to secure it, and there's the follow-up here on the jump pad. wichtL off to a strong start here with another kill.
Yeah, something that these players are great at, and particularly wichtL that we're watching at the moment, is just how he's using the ground acceleration to get that maximum speed straight from the off, and managing to get such good mobility around the map. And now going against Clutch.
That's a shield down. I don't think GaRpY really has any weapons to work with here. You have the injection on the side of wichtL. He can afford to fight this one. Gets a nice direct rocket. Gonna miss the rail though. His rails have been really off point here so far today, allowing GaRpY to escape where maybe he should not have been able to.
Rail coming in. GaRpY needs to be a little bit faster around the map here. Wow, that shotgun blast just did an enormous amount of damage. And he's hit every bit of that robot. And it's now just the nicks for GaRpY to play with.
GaRpY went from Transformer to can opener there on that clutch. And again, the chase is going to be there, injection is going to be there as well. That's going to be the ghost walk used to escape. wichtL's going to be very healthy, and GaRpY just has been unable to really respond, unable to really stop this bleed that's happening. He doesn't have that tourniquet on. He's not been able to stop wichtL from having this constant aggression around the map.
He's not played himself since that moment he got caught out with Anarchy before the end of the first round. And he needs to get into a better mindset at the moment. He's bringing another rail on him. He's got to watch out. He always kills himself. wichtL trying to get the finishing blow. We're trying to jump on the top of him. This is absolutely bananas moves that he's making, and he's actually going to be able to take round number 2 as well. GaRpY is in trouble in the first map.
I mean, getting hit in the face with a surfboard can hurt, but I don't think it actually does any damage in Quake Champions there. It's still really, really well done. You know, wichtL on the back foot for the entirety of the first round. Again, we talk about momentum so many times, and he has complete control of it here. But will momentum get to his head? Will this, not necessarily cockiness, but this aggression end up being his downfall? We're going to find out here as we're into 12 seconds of our third round, and already GaRpY taking a lot of damage.
think GaRpY's going to want to play a little bit more passively because he was doing a very good job at that on the first round. He's got to not feel like he's got to get revenge or anything like that. It's got to be a carefully thought out game plan from him. He wants that rail so badly, desperate for it. And it actually manages to collect it without taking additional damage. It's kind of lucky, but also very, very practical.
Oh, those shots. I mean, he wasn't even scoped in. That's the point. He just hits that unscoped.
There's not many pixels there to look at.
Not at all. He's going for the chase with the LG2. Doesn't have the injection up anymore, but he has the HP to work with. But GaRpY turns it around. I think wichtL just missed too many shots there, and GaRpY taking advantage of that.
Unbelievable. And these are some of the sort of the fast, frantic plays that he can do when he's playing and when he's playing at a high level, and he can turn fights around just like that. And wichtL, his experience and maybe lack of respect causing that to plan out the way it did.
Right. All right, well, Mega's going to be up here for wichtL. He's going to pick that one up. 200 HP for this man. Doesn't have a lot of guns to use, though. Not a lot in his arsenal. So I'm imagining here, Zoot, that he needs to pick up something. Rail maybe pick up the rocket launcher.
He needs to go for them, but he needs to get them at the right time as well. And this seems to be the right time for him. He's taking a little bit of extra damage, and it might be questionable whether he should have made that play straight away. Even he's on one champion disadvantage with plenty of time to go. You've got time to play it slow. One rail will kill him. GaRpY, he switched from the rockets, so from the rail to the rockets, but he's still got him very low. The rocket jump away with 6 HP. Unbelievable.
I thought Sorlag was a female champion in the game, but clearly we just saw the amount of balls and how big they were for wichtL to use that rocket jump to get away and have 6 HP remaining.
That was a good effort of mine. I enjoyed that.
Well, now he's looks like GaRpY trying to run away. Again, a 2-champion lead here for him, which forces wichtL to play a little bit different. You know, again, you could talk to us about this since you qualified. You're pretty much a pro player. You are a pro player. When you're down 2 champions, like, how does that affect your play style?
And actually, sometimes it makes you even hungrier to get this job done. All right, GaRpY's got to be very careful. You still feel it's very possible, depending on how the previous frags have played out, and the amount of time that's left is going to determine how confident you are going into the rest of the matchup. But if you've got focus, it's something that you're never going to say, oh, this is too difficult, I won't try.
If he had a rail there, that could have been the opening he needed to start turning this round around. He's going to be very aggressive with the Ghost Walk. Going to be right in his face. Injection might be there. He misses the first rocket, though. And GaRpY using that mastery of his movement, able to escape, and the rail's not going to follow up. I have to say, wichtL is not looking too good on his rail so far in this match.
Yeah, he's going to steady that a little bit. And it's something where if you combine with a movement, and if you could get that world-class rail aim going, he would be an unstoppable force almost. GaRpY's got to be very careful. He's used his injection. He's managed to get the armor. This is tight.
Oh, nice little rocket comes through. He's looking for the direct, but it's not going to happen. wichtL picks up the kill. Does start to equalize things with 2 minutes left remaining, but it's going to be the Clutch coming through. Clutch v Nyx. A matchup that we've seen plenty of times, actually. And Clutch does luckily have that ability to see a Nyx through his own shield. But that's a major investment, to actually put your shield just to see where Nyx is going. And if you can't keep up with the speed, which ideally this Clutch should be able to, you could just waste that entire ability.
This is where wichtL's going to need to be good with the rail, so they can get that long-range damage and force that shield early on. And we're trying to see some dodges. GaRpY managing to evade that last rail. And GaRpY, he just wants to get up close and personal, force the Ghost Walk, and then use his shield and work with the information from there.
He's got the rockets, and this is exactly what he's going to need here. Every Clutch's best friend, but we can see the Ghost Walk already using. He spots him out. This is going to be so dangerous if he could just hit these shots, but he's not able to do so far. 3 damage comes through. His shield is now gone, and he's forced to back away. GaRpY, that was his opportunity to pick up the kill, but more importantly, he played it safe. He didn't try to go for the kill. He wanted to just stay alive because there's 40 seconds left.
That's absolutely true, actually. He didn't want to say, okay, I'm not going to risk it all right now. And I think it was just during that fight that he saw the clock and was like, wait, cut to plan B.
30 seconds left to go here, Zoot. This match here, this first map in this setup is becoming down to the wire. wichtL currently up 2 rounds.
GaRpY wants his shield to be up. I'm not sure how much time would be left on it. It might be coming up around about now, but he's got it.
Ideally, she should hold on to sit in the corner. Keep that shield up. 10 seconds left on the clock. He's going to be aggressive to actually shoot off these shots, and he gets the kill nonetheless. And GaRpY able to take one back here.
Right, very good job there from GaRpY. He used the shield at the end. I mean, could not fault him on what he was doing on that occasion. And even his game sense at the same time, he knew there was just 10, 15 seconds to go, and it's very likely that Nyx is going to be making an attack. Now let's just do it. Let's get the information and move if needed. We're on wichtL here in round 4, getting that mega health, trying to find some of the weapons. Probably going to circle jump quickly across to the rail. And GaRpY yet to get the railgun himself, in fact.
Oh, that's not how you want to start things off, taking a rail to the face here. GaRpY already off to the back foot in this 4th round. Able to hit the response rail though. wichtL wasn't able to hit his own. And again, wichtL has just been, I don't know. Again, it's hard for me to really judge someone on the rails, but he's missing a lot that I would imagine that you should ideally be able to hit in this situation.
Well, I mean, it would be unfair to call him on it too much because he's hitting an Anarchy. That's one thing. Well, what a chase we've got at the moment. All right, that was very, very close. But he's also going from some tremendously difficult angles. Okay. He's going for the snap rails when he's playing with his movement. He hasn't got his mouse there and waiting. There's a lot of mouse control going on, which definitely doesn't make the shots easy. But at the same time, you're expecting a certain benchmark level of percentage rail hit.
Right.
He's not quite where he needs to be if he wants to see him get through this map a little easier than he's finding it right now.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a little bit hard for me to criticize him because he's up 2-1 currently. And we can see the aggression again coming through. The injection being forced to use. He's trying to back away, but the high ground is going to be wichtL's. The kill though will it go his way as he gets a nice 37 damage rocket off, forced to use his own injection just to run away. And immediately both of these players just retreating, going back to their ends of the ring to live to fight a little bit later on.
Yeah, the only way the reason I defend wichtL a bit is because when I play Anarchy, I know how difficult it can be to play versus another Anarchy and hit reliable rails. So I've definitely got to give him some props. wichtL does do a lot of things that don't look humanly possible on any level.
And we can already just see, I mean, his mastery of movement is really making me want to pick up this champion in particular. I go for Sorlight because it's a lot of the HP.
Yeah, he's so much fun to play, especially when you get to grips with him, and even just jumping around an empty server. It's such a joy. Wow.
5 HP left. Injection's going to be used, but he's still railable here.
Wow, yeah, I can't believe he's going for the armor. Unbelievable bravery from GaRpY. I don't know if that's bravery or just
stupidity.
Exactly.
I mean, you're on a team with him, so you maybe can't say it, but or maybe I should be the one saying it. Maybe you should be allowed to. Either way, though, we're 2.5 minutes through, already halfway into our 4th round, and so far not a kill for either of these two, but a lot of action. Like you said, a fast-paced, slow game is exactly what we're seeing.
Exactly. The item control can get a little bit manic, especially when they're trying to play each other on the items, and you end up seeing them. They might start with the big armor and the mega on each side respectively, but it can chop and change all the time, and all of a sudden results in this, where it's just a ridiculous fight that it doesn't result in a frag, but it's just something that very easily could have, and wichtL is in a lot of trouble right now.
Those rails on a GaRpY are really applying a lot of pressure to wichtL. See GaRpY maybe looking for that frag. We might just come down to a 1-frag game at this rate. GaRpY's still trying to fight his way back into this first map. So we'll go into runes of starting out the second. Remember, keep in mind, loser this one's out. Winner of this one goes to QuakeCon. So a lot on the line here. This LG is going to be coming through. 28 damage, but 28's not going to be enough. It's still, you know, it's funny. It is completely a slow-paced game, but there's so much action, and it's just on a knife's edge constantly here. Just if one rocket hit a little bit differently, if a rail hit a little bit differently, we could have already seen some kills happen.
No, exactly. But it changes everything. If wichtL receives a rail just after he's picked up one of the major items, it just changes the whole dynamic once again. It might change who's in control. The one thing that they've both got going for each other is the fact that the major items spawn 5 seconds apart, which means it's not quite enough time in order to get to the item that you want to.
It looks like maybe
we might have
crashed.
Might have an issue there for wichtL. I think he would be happy to restart a round for himself just then. However, I guess we'll look at the technical side there as he leaves the game. But yeah,
we'll get word from admins about that one.
Absolutely. But as it stands, when you're playing Anarchy versus Anarchy, any amount of damage inflicted by either player, the matchup just changes completely. And it is scary, and as Anarchy, you often feel that you're constantly on the run, but when you get those string of rails, or when you get that damage and you make that read on the opponent that results in that frag, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen GaRpY kind of go on both ends so far. We talked about, you know, early on in the bracket, he was a little bit off-put, right? He wasn't playing the game he wanted to. Coming to this one with a fresh new mindset, we're hoping to see him change it up, right? Be able to play the style he wants, play reactive, push aggressive in the beginning. But I feel like this aggression he's been pulling off in the, you know, the get-goes of the round has been equally met by wichtL.
No, definitely. And what I'm finding interesting is actually how it's getting, I don't say easier, but you're starting to notice more patterns with how things work out in terms of GaRpY had a troubling beginning of the map where he looked good and all of a sudden got shut down. And the result is that that round after also went to wichtL. And the fact that it really took a lot of fighting and self-motivation to keep him in the game on that third round as well to prevent wichtL from taking that map win right there, right now. And I feel that if GaRpY can get back into that level of focus and if a silly mistake is avoided once again, then maybe he can be headstrong enough to take a whole series.
And the impressive thing is that one of the rounds he lost, he shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Like he was up a champion the entire time, and then he gets caught out. Then he gets caught out again when he's playing clutch. Like mentally, you know, as a player, that has to annoy you so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you want to be one of the best players, and no matter what game you're playing, no matter what sport you're playing, you can't let something like that affect you. And I feel like going into the next round, like you mentioned, he was able to claw his way back. And the thing is, just, there are people standing behind him. And I hate when I stream at home and people are watching me play, let alone people directly behind me, you know, maybe hearing something just saying like, oh, I should have hit that, or oh, what is he doing? You know, there's a lot of pressure on you.
So sometimes it goes, after you've had a competition or you've been playing some practice games, you might watch some demos and you say, oh, so I did that wrong. I probably should have done that instead. But on one or two of those occasions, you don't need to watch a demo to know what you did wrong. As soon as it happens, you're like, critical is a mistake. And that's why if you start thinking about it a bit too much, it can wear you down a little bit. And that's where I think that mental fortitude that we're talking about is so important and is what the most elite players, like a Cypher, like a Rafa, are very, very good at.
Thank you for getting the American in there. I appreciate that.
It's all right. I've got to give them something because they've not got much else.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. No, so one thing that I love talking about in like any game I cast is if you want to be one of the best players in a game, you have to be able to adapt, right? You have to be able to play different champions, different heroes, different guns, like whatever it may be. Coming into Quake Champions, there's a lot of different movement styles, right? There's the CPM MMA movement style, you know, what we've seen with the Anarchies there. Do you feel like someone who's coming into Quake Champions eventually will have to get used to another play style because maybe that champion's just so good, like for instance, like Nyx or Clutch, just so good that you have to kind of get used to that play style, or do you feel like you can rely on it in the long term?
I think at the end of the day, what you want to do with Quake Champions, you want to play the champions that you can identify with in some respect, okay. Something that you're comfortable with. But if you're noticing that all of a sudden, oh, this champion is really effective against me, and I'm having a really hard time, maybe if I play, then I can give people a hard time. Maybe you just need to actually adapt to that champion a little better. And that's actually the reason. Maybe there is a very level pegging in terms of overall balance between the champions that we're obviously trying to stabilize as much as possible within the game. At the end of the day, you've got to, every single champion versus champion matchup, there is a different, you have to adapt differently, and you have to play differently to either be defensive or be aggressive in whichever way is going to be successful for you. And that's what's really interesting for a lot of the players to get used to, is how all of a sudden the pace of the game will just change.
And one of the things that, you know, I'm assuming we're going to be seeing in Quake Champions, or already have seen, and I've seen in games like StarCraft, where you play a certain race, you play a certain set of champions, and like you said, you keep getting wrecked by a certain one. For me personally, the best way to learn a champion is to play it, and to learn the other side of the matchup, right? To learn, like, you know, I keep getting wrecked by Nyx, and I can't figure out how to beat her, so maybe I should play her, see how... where her strengths are. Well, obviously you know where strengths are if she's beating you, but where her weaknesses are, right? And then learn from that, and then take that into the champion you do play against her to learn that matchup a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be quite a bit of homework for some players as well, because they get so ingrained in this. I've got so many habits with these champions, and you really have to take time out. It's like, right, I'm gonna do my homework with the movement. The physics are different. The mouse control is different. Obviously, aiming is aiming, but when you're surviving in your movement, and something that's absolutely beautiful about Quake are the physics that are involved and how it's chopped and changed between different iterations and different mods that have been made by the community throughout its history. You still have to get used to more than just how I aim, or when I choose to attack, or when I choose to defend. You've got to get used to the feel of the champion, and I think that's one of the most fun things actually about the game. I see Slash being played with crouch sliding out like in Quake 4, and I'm like, wow, it looks stunning and it's
does.
smooth. It can be so fast as well. But when I try it and I'm in a duel, I do it and I'm like, I need to do more homework. I need to do more than just 10 minutes in a server on my own. I really need to sort of go back to the roots here and try it out. And when you eventually get it working, it's such a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, especially the movement. I like how you pointed out, just doing the movement inside of these maps, playing custom is really enjoyable. We did just get word from the admins that we will be resuming the 4th round, replaying it pretty much from the get-go, so it's still 2-1 for wichtL. He did have a slight crash there, so we'll be coming back in just a few seconds. One thing that I also like to kind of maybe look at is something you mentioned is looking at your own demos, looking at your own your videos, seeing how you're playing. And I feel like if you're one of the new guys coming into Quake Champions when there's not a lot of tape on you, no one knows how you play unless they play against you. I feel like you have such a big advantage because I can just go watch Rafa stream, see how he plays, and then change my style to specifically counter him. Now, obviously, I can't do it, but a lot of people out there have the potential to. I feel like that's such a big advantage for people who are looking to get into Quake Champions and rise to this kind of pro play.
Yeah, obviously it sounds, I could just do the homework on Rafa and I can learn how to beat him. It's obviously easier said than done. But yeah, I mean, it can allow upsets to happen in that respect when you're a lesser known individual. But looks like we're back in the game here. It is 2-1 in favor of wichtL. So what GaRpY needs to do is he needs to get 2 rounds if he wants to win the first map, or wichtL just needs the 1.
Well, we were 4.5 minutes through already into that round 4 before that crash did happen, and no champions were killed. So we're pretty much just picking up where we left off. It's like, oh, the rocket landing forced the injection to immediately out of GaRpY, and that rail could have been enough to finish him off. But again, the aggression's on him. wichtL's not able to connect these shots, but look at this pressure. GaRpY goes directly into him. wichtL hasn't traded his position just yet, but he backs off yet again here because of how, I'm assuming, how squishy this champion is.
No, definitely. And again, he's missing a couple of important shots that he really needs to steady his hand on. Looking for a midi himself. 17 health, and that is going to be the injection used. GaRpY does not want to push in too overzealously here.
Oh, they're still right next to each other. Going to go through that teleport. There's no way that wichtL's going to go for the chase.
GaRpY might attack on the big armor. This could be a very strong move from him actually, because it spawns in still 3 seconds time. And he's going to be able to grab it. Now this is quite big for GaRpY.
Oh, he's taking a lot of damage too. GaRpY, to be honest, is still not sitting too healthy. Yeah, he's full HP at the moment, but considering how stacked he was, there was a lot of damage he did take. wichtL was able to escape again, using that mastery of the movement as you pointed out before this match did start. The rail's going to land, wichtL's stuck in the air, the injection's going to come through, keep him healthy for now, but he still was railable and still is at this point with no armor in his pocket.
And GaRpY wants to continue the rotation that he had before. He got the last mega health and he got the last armor. He's just taken the mega and now he's getting the next armor. So a pattern is emerging for GaRpY, and it's something that he doesn't want to pull away from. But
oh no, he caught with the rail out. GaRpY, great 2 rockets out of him. Finally nets him the first kill.
Yeah, and having the rail out and getting punished like that is nasty. Oh, he's got the acid spit coming out as well, and he's just walking through the acid. He really wants to take the frag immediately. And now he's leaving items up. Does take a frag though, so it's pretty big from GaRpY.
3v1 here as GaRpY's looking to tie things up in our first map of the series. Remember, loser this one is going home. Well, wichtL already is at home, but winner, most importantly, will be going to QuakeCon here at the end of August in that $1 million tournament. You heard me right, $1 million. It's too late for me to go pro. Unfortunately, I'm in the wrong business, maybe. Maybe I should be a pro player instead of a caster, where we get paid in peanuts. Either way, that's
really nice peanuts, though.
They are delicious. Sometimes there's like 4 in a shell. But still, I mean, the pressure's on now. wichtL, he's on the back foot. He still has that 2-1 lead, but he's down to just Nyx only.
And I think, yeah, GaRpY looking to maintain that control on the armor, but that rail actually means that all of a sudden he can't bully wichtL out of the way. And he's going to have to hold his own. And with 2 minutes ago, he's actually navigated his way there somehow. wichtL was looking to be aggressive to try and play off of the damage that he had already dealt, but it's not resulted in anything. He's lost his cooldown, and GaRpY is all over the items.
That rocket just whizzing past his ear could have been enough to finish him off. Just barely survives that. 2 minutes left to go in this round. wichtL, he's got to start picking up some kills. He has to start being aggressive here. But as you mentioned before, GaRpY just has a set plan around the map. He's picking up all the items he possibly can. He's really stacked at this rate. Look at all the ammo he has across the guns. I don't know what wichtL has to do here.
Plenty, absolutely plenty from GaRpY. Again, that one rail all of a sudden changes the tide just a little bit, and he's decided to actually use the boost. That could have been a very good move from him. He's still got some of the jump boost. And like missed rail, these are critical shots for wichtL to miss. There's got just over a minute to go. He has to start getting the frag very, very soon, because he's probably going to have it, well, he's going to have it definitely either a clutch or a next to go up afterwards. And again, a missed rail from wichtL. This cannot happen anymore.
Oh, we're seeing the LG switch out of GaRpY, who's kind of locked in this position, but the thing is, with wichtL not hitting these rails, finally he's able to do it. Maybe we're not spectating him. It's the one where we're not spectating he's able to hit. Maybe that's the pressure that's on him. But yeah, he's hitting the hard ones. That's going to be the rocket coming through, doing some good damage for wichtL on low HP with 40 seconds left to go. He still has 2 champions to find and not a lot of time to work with. I want to say GaRpY has this in the bag, but we saw what happened in round 2.
Yeah, we don't know yet. He's lucky that he's got 2 very defensive champions to play with after, so if he can survive till 450, I think he's good. Like 100%. Yep. No shadow of a doubt. Crazy moment.
Oh, I think he just saw him directly under him. Yes, it is. But the speed, he's not able to catch up to him.
He can't. It's like he's going around corners so quickly. How am I able to do this? And GaRpY even runs back in, but I think he can celebrate this round victory. And despite what it says on the round board at the top, do remember that this is GaRpY tying up the rounds due to the restart we had. So if either player wins the round, they will take the first map.
I feel like we're watching Formula 1 as he just keeps drifting around these corners away from him. He's just not able to catch up to him, and those frags are, well, the damage at least was non-existent there. But again, not trying to harsh on it too much, but wichtL did miss like 4 rails in a row.
He missed a lot. And the thing is, he had a long time to actually make that comeback happen. And he just wasn't properly able to get himself into that. So he's going to expect something a bit bigger and better now.
Ooh, that could have been an easy shot on GaRpY as he was stuck in the air. To look at wichtL, he's trying to go for the fight here, trying to push directly onto him. That rail is going to do some decent damage, I believe, but still 75 HP left. He's going for the chase. The rockets might be enough. The injection is still up, but he switches to the rail, then pops the injection off. Not sure why he switched off the rocket launcher, but GaRpY's able to use his mastery of
what's happening
to escape. I don't know why they keep chasing after each other, yet no kills are happening.
They're getting insane damage. That rocket was very close. He's railable. GaRpY is still hanging around. I think there's the armor up, and he is going to grab it. He's still working with just the rocket launcher.
It's so funny how fast-paced this game can be because, you know, 1 second they're fighting, the other second wichtL's across the entire map already, and he can't be caught up to her. This isn't being chased by GaRpY. 1 minute in.
I'm amazed that frag didn't actually occur on those last periods. It was very tense between the 2 of them. They were both using their injection. They're both desperately looking for some direct rockets to happen, but they just couldn't quite make it happen. But you know what? It's a relief for both players almost.
That was a sick rail though out of wichtL, finally able to hit one. And switching back to it, not able to connect. He's actually out of rockets, so he's forced to go to the rail there.
No rocket, he just went past an ammo pack as well. Oh, the huge rocket, but I think the timing on the armor came up just narrowly after he took the rocket.
I think so. Minute 30 through, and wichtL's kind of locked into a corner here.
Direct. Is there a rail? wichtL is just legging it at the moment. He's found him down below, and the Mega's up. Again, getting some initial damage. Can't quite follow up with any more on the machine gun.
He's got 21 shots on the rocket launcher. I don't think GaRpY's gonna let this one go this time. If he can just catch up to wichtL. So those preemptive shots are going to do some decent damage. A nice 52. But he's backing away. I don't think he has the health to survive that rail, and to be honest, neither does wichtL.
Problem for GaRpY is he still doesn't have the railgun. We're 2 minutes into the game, and he's still just playing with the rockets and the lightning gun. He needs to grab them at some point very soon. With this, surely he's going to result in a frag of some sort. No. 78 health, 77 for GaRpY. They're running into each other. Hit the rail. It misses. wichtL, when are you going to land one of these important shots? This is going to give a chance for GaRpY to finally get the railgun after 2.5 minutes of play. And he's going to start landing straight away. And the next one. And that wichtL, that's a demonstration of what you need to do. You need to land your rails sometimes. You don't need to rely on rails, but there's a point where it's going to be important.
That's got to be exciting for GaRpY. He's got to get a lot of momentum.
He's going to be hyped from that.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, he knows how many rails wichtL's been missing. For him to hit 2 in a row like that, let's see if he can amount it to more. Though he's being chased out by the rockets. Not able to connect those. 64 damage now done. Doesn't look like he wants to go for the chase just yet as he picks up the Mega. But the heavy armor is going to be there, and wichtL's going to get it. But will he be able to survive this because these rails are still going to be coming through?
He's landing some good shots, actually, with the rail. It's really keeping wichtL at bay for the time being. Finally, we're getting a rail from wichtL, but it's not a killing blow. It's just going to set GaRpY back. And I hope, though, that GaRpY... Because there's a point earlier where he did some good damage but decided not to follow up, where maybe there was a chance to go in for a rail of some sort. I hope that he's not already decided, right, I'm going to play defensively. And he's waddling around the map, not doing much, and just took a free rail. This is... It's very important for GaRpY to still play the map for what it is and not just try to be on constant survival mode. Great jump by wichtL. He's landing, again, more shots. We've got the armor up. The acid comes out. I don't think it landed at all.
No.
And it's going to be GaRpY escaping on that situation. And that was a very tense, about 10-15 seconds where GaRpY's going to be pretty glad to have gotten through that alive.
GaRpY's just trying to run circles around him. He's had a minute to work with here. And if he picks up this round again, as we pointed out before, the score does not actually correct.
Wow.
These hill gun damage is insane. wichtL has to run away here, but he's running for the heavy and he gets fragged out. And now that's a 2-champion lead for GaRpY with 45 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm not sure what wichtL's going to be able to do now. He's got the Nyx, but he's got to launch an attack very quickly. He's got barely any weapons. Brilliant. You've got the tri-bolt. I'm not sure we're going to see some of the full 150 damage shots that we saw earlier. See, he goes in. He didn't even get himself the rocket launcher. He just used his Ghost Walk just before he was able to pick up the weapon.
Well, look at the time, 20 seconds left to go, and you point out before, if he just survives for a couple more seconds, he's going to have that Ghost Walk to use, and this should be GaRpY taking this round. I don't see wichtL having a chance at all, and I think he's going to know it. 10 seconds left, and there we go. GaRpY going to pick up the first map here in this best of 3.
He is going to be so chuffed with that. That was hard. There was a reverse sweep just happened on map number 1. So although it says 2-0, that is the 3-2 overall due to the restart. So very, very well played GaRpY. And you know what? It's difficult for me to hold in my nerves at the moment because I'm gunning for GaRpY. I like to think I did a good job at representing both. I know we were shooting down wichtL a bit for missing the rails, but it was really something that was happening so much.
There was a lot of them. Like I agree. Maybe in the beginning I was being a little bit too harsh, but as we kept seeing it go on, he was missing more and more and more.
Yep.
And thing is, if you I keep saying it, if you want to be the best, you have to hit those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're hitting Anarchy, which is really hard, but you have to hit some of those.
Yeah, definitely. And we know that GaRpY, with that, he was able to deliver on that. wichtL had a great first couple of rounds. He managed to take advantage of the fact that GaRpY probably was a little bit tilted after round 1, but there wasn't huge amounts of substance following that. So GaRpY going to be delighted on that one, because I believe that was also wichtL's pick and that we're moving over to Ruins of Sarnath.
I believe so, yeah.
Next.
Yeah. Do you think we're still going to see the 1v1 Anarchies in the beginning?
Yes, I believe so. Ruins of Sarnath is a good map for Anarchy. There's a lot of items that you can run there. There's, I believe, 10 hourglasses on the map at the same time. So if you've got an ability-heavy champion, then it's something you can get that cooldown reduced fairly quickly and fairly promptly. And it's just very good map for the general Anarchy movement as well.
Do you think we're going to see a switch at all in any champions, or think we're going to have like the same 3 every time? Or maybe the Solar Lag will be changed up?
Maybe the Solar Lag will be changed up, but I won't be surprised if GaRpY sticks with him. Sorry, wichtL sticks with him.
Okay. Well, we'll be loading into that one as soon as we possibly can. I just really wonder for wichtL what's going through his mind. You're up 2-0. You come back in one round where maybe you shouldn't have been able to. You have to be so hyped up and so energetic. And then the next 3 rounds straight, you got the damage done, right? But he couldn't get the finisher. And we saw that happen with Vise early on in our match with Strengths for space. But he has the speed to catch up to him. It's just both were playing very, I want to say scared, but like, it was reasonable to be scared in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. You've almost always got to be scared when you're playing some of these small champions. It's part of what drives you through it. I want to take it back though to what it was like with Razy and Noctis, where Razy he performed amazingly well, almost reverse swooped Noctis over the maps, and then got reverse swooped on the final map, and that was due to nerves. That was due to him getting inside his own head a little bit too much, and maybe that's what happened to wichtL on just that one map. Just we saw the whole timeline of that. The life cycle of what happens with your anxiety, with the emotions of the tense nature of being in a tournament of this scale, just happening right there and not able to deliver. And when you've got shaky hands and you're trying to hit rails on Anarchy, that's pretty difficult. I know I struggle.
He's weak, arms are heavy.
Exactly. Something about pasta.
Tortellini bolognese. I don't remember. But no, like that's something that I find really interesting, is the fact that most of the players here for the Quake Championships for the qualifiers are what 5-10 year veterans of the game.
A lot of them even more than that sometimes.
Yeah, and they played professionally for that same kind of duration, and yet you can still get inside your own head, and you can still kind of mess yourself. And it's interesting for me to see that even after all this time, you can still have that affect you.
Yeah, well, wichtL's someone who's not been in an enormous amount. Although he's been playing Quake for a long time, he's not someone who's been at the forefront of competition.
Right.
And it's something that you need a bit more experience. wichtL has got so much potential, and if he's not able to take it here today, he shouldn't go too harsh on himself, because in the future, he is definitely going to continue contending.
All right, well, it looks like we will have GaRpY use a clutch and a Nyx again. I don't know how much of that we're actually going to see, but the sword leg's being picked up, so pretty much same comps for both of these two players.
No, that's absolutely right. I was curious to see if wichtL would have decided to go with the clutch due to the fact there are so many hourglasses on Ruins of Sarnath, but he's opted to carry on with the sword. Like, he loves that that movement that they have, the air control that you get with the champions, whereas GaRpY seems pretty comfortable with clutch. I'm too terrified, if I'm honest, to make predictions. GaRpY can contain his emotions. I mean,
it looks like he's in the zone, though.
Him. I mean, you've got to be right now. If there's a time to be in the zone, is when you're a map away from getting over to the Quake World Championship. And I can't. Okay, sometimes saying, well, you're talking about the emotions so much and how much pressure there really is. I've never played a LAN before, but when I was sitting in my chair and I was thinking just a little bit about it, you spend half a second thinking about what happens if I get this kill or if I win this round. It's tense. You've got to be in the zone, and when you've got mechanical skill, it's focus that's going to separate the best from the better.
And keep in mind, this is the biggest tournament ever held for Quake. Like, the amount of money into this, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of these, players, looking at like the esports earnings of them, they won, 10, 15, 20 tournaments, but they've only accumulated like maybe $30,000 in prize winnings, where nowadays, winning 100 grand for an event is very common.
That's true. Some of these players will be looking at maybe even doubling or adding a significant amount to their current total, which is I mean, it is life-changing. I don't like to use that term too often, but that's something that takes you to that next level. Very true.
We're seeing the battle already break down. Lightning Gun versus Rockets, and so far it looks like GaRpY's the one come out the worst of these two.
Yeah, he wants that mega health, and it's not quite going to give him the amount of stack that he's going to want from it. But got to be careful. There's only 2 small armors on this map. And when you've got these weak champions who are also moving very quickly, there might even be a lot of arguments over who gets the smaller armors. These rockets not quite connecting for GaRpY. He managed to get a bit of splash, but he can't find anything that's landing direct. And he wants to get over to the armor. There's 5 seconds. They're chasing each other at this point.
No!
LG from wichtL. What on earth was I looking at?
Lightning strike from above, basically, from Zeus himself. Things we talked about juggling with the LG, but if you're attacking from the top side and you have a jump pad under you, where are you going to run to? Clutch being picked up here for GaRpY, and he's already been pressured. The shield is on cooldown in just a few seconds. wichtL is going to go for the chase. It looks like LG in hand. He's doing some decent damage, but he doesn't have much HP left. You have to give credit to GaRpY under that pressure to hit those couple of shots to force wichtL back.
Yeah, that was mandatory. You could see that there was, again, blood in wichtL's eyes, and he thought that that was a guaranteed frag for him, but GaRpY survives and still gives a good amount of hope for himself in this round. Needs to get a couple of other weapons. If he can get onto that rail now, he's looking good. Well, I say good. He's still got to get a amount of items.
Damage coming through. Nice little rocket comes in. The shield's going to be gone, though, and there's the LG. wichtL again, laying down the law, takes down 2 champions, and he's up against Nyx now to GaRpY. 2 champion deficit for that man. He's lost the gauntlet here to do some. I don't think he actually hit it.
He hit one. He managed to hit one pummelon, which another one would have done the job, but he's going to try and buy some space with that damage and get himself onto an item from that. Got the Mega in a second. Both items are spawning very similar times, so at this point you're probably going to see them exchange once again. And for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and we've seldomly been able to see wichtL actually with the lead and how he's been able to play this one out, where GaRpY on their hand, we saw from the comeback, the reverse sweep, likes to just run away, keep his distance when he has that advantage, but at the moment wichtL up 2 champions. Still looking to be a little bit aggressive, but I think for the most part, you can completely correct me if I'm wrong here, which I could be, is just looking to control these items and limit the amount of ways GaRpY can really get back into this.
Yeah, definitely. If anything, I might even think about delaying the armor a fairly significant amount, and then waiting for another rotation where there will be a difference and he will have a chance to control both of them. But at the same time, what he's doing is working. He's surviving, but there's always that danger factor when you're giving a bit of a stack to GaRpY that something insane could happen. There could be a really good Ghost Walk attack that just catches them off guard. And they actually exchanged on the items just then. Which was slightly bizarre. Now 4 seconds between the 2 items. And GaRpY looking to get something done. Slightly caught off just then. Wasn't expecting wichtL to be quite as close as he was.
So again, just hit and run tactics from this man. Guerrilla warfare. Getting a little bit of damage in, back away when you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable. The LG's gonna come through looking for the finisher. Ghost Walk can be used. Looks like it will create distance or not as he charges straight into him. GaRpY gets the kill on a viktl with the rocket launcher with 3 HP remaining. This man needs to heal up as quick as he can. He's got a minute left to go. He's got one champion to find.
There is hope at the moment for GaRpY, and he has just picked up another major item. He's given with 60 seconds to go. It's crunch time very, very soon. I think he might want to collect a couple of hourglasses just to ensure he's got that Ghost Walk to play with. And we're almost there. Next time they pop the Ghost Walks, that's going to be it. That's the last chance, basically.
And if I'm not mistaken, this matchup, you want to be the last Nyx to use that Ghost Walk. Then you have that element of surprise. With 30 seconds to go, I think viktl just trying to keep his distance. It seems so. Playing very slow, very quiet. Oh my gosh, the damage coming through. He uses
that's viktl that used it. Okay, he hasn't got the timer. He's going to go for the time shards, but at this point, it's just running. Can you hide in the right place? GaRpY's got to make a read with 15 seconds to go. He might have just heard him. 10 seconds. viktl running to the corners of the map. And why is he waiting for the item? Why are you there? GaRpY, you've got 5 seconds to go and you're a champion down, and he's not quite going to be able to make it. I think that was a bit of a mess up from the Brit. I think he was maybe so focused on what he was doing that he wasn't quite looking at the clock. So he needs to snap himself out of that, get back in strong in the next round. So well played to viktl, holding on and surviving, although it looked against the odds.
Yeah, very true indeed. And now we're going back to the matchup we've seen every single time and every single round so far between these two players. Gonna be very explosive, but at the same time very slow. Funny enough. Oh, that's a nice jump coming through, 78 damage. But again, you have to give credit to viktl, able to return damage back onto him with the LG, make GaRpY feel uncomfortable, and feeling like he needs to back off and give the respect to this man. To not try to close out that frag.
Definitely got to be giving respect to him. And the way viktl's playing at the moment, if he can carry on, we'll look at map 3, but we are a fair bit of distance away from that for now.
So here, one thing we should mention, these rounds have gone relatively long. You know, we've hit the 5-minute mark quite a few times. As a player in this situation, mental exhaustion has to come into play. This is something you have to be aware of, and you know how tired it must get to play out these long rounds. How do you kind of combat that as a player? How do you stay focused?
It's actually something I really want to touch on. I'm just very worried about viktl's life. And the GaRpY might make a big impact in just a second, but what you're touching on is actually incredibly important. Oh, the rail, he just gets the armor in time and viktl escapes.
Because we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just the nature of these champions at this point, really. But the games can get very long, and if you're playing 5 rounds on a single map and they're going to 5 minutes, that's 25 minutes game time. And when you're getting through a tournament, stamina is definitely a big factor.
Yeah.
And some of the online tournaments, they get a lot of practice in the online tournaments that they play, because you can be playing back-to-back games for several hours at a time. But you do have to find your own little tips and techniques, and maybe getting a drink and just keeping yourself in check mentally, so that your skill level's not deteriorating at all. There's so much focus to actually keep this going.
Well, luckily for both these players, though, I mean, this is the last match they have to play today, so they can leave everything out here on the battlefield.
Definitely.
Go home exhausted. For GaRpY, come into tomorrow into sacrifice, looking to qualify here.
They'll have some moments to recuperate, but it's about getting into that positive mood and getting qualified. And GaRpY's going to let that mega go. It's going to be going to viktl. He should have heard it getting taken. Oh, that was a great drive-by rail there from viktl. GaRpY was not expecting that. So immediately as he picks up the item, he's back to a standard stack.
Well, we're halfway through the round, though. Pretty much been playing out every single time the exact same way. Either way, you can see viktl trying to look for these rails, and
it's just warfare between the anarchies. They're just almost like they're trying to claim stake at who's got the better anarchy. There's a rail. Important shot there from viktl.
You just see the pressure applies, though, and that's why we've been kind of harsh on this. Oh, we see the LG come through, and the dodging is going to be coming in as well, but viktl picks up the kill to GaRpY. We'll dance around him a little bit better. But I was trying to point out, can we see the pressure that's applied on a player when you get hit by rail, especially as an Arky here?
What the hell just happened there? Yeah,
200 damage.
And that's another frag. viktl looking good. He's maybe even go 2 rounds up. And if we get that initial damage, you've got that opportunity to put the pressure on, but it can turn around so quickly.
So the Ghost Rock used to maybe go for the chase here to GaRpY. Maybe get a little bit frustrated with himself.
I think that was maybe a premature use of the Ghost Walk. If viktL wasn't fully aware that that was being used, then it's not so bad. But if he notices that hourglasses are starting to be missing from the map, then he's going to realize that GaRpY's trying to make a play.
Oh, nice little rocket comes through. Gonna aim a little bit lower here this time. Here, 6 HP left remaining. Is the final kill going to come through for viktL? Looks like he's trying to escape. The LG is going to be there. The rockets are not landing. There we go. viktL picks up the 3-0. Gets 2 rounds on the board here on Runes of Sarnath. And is 1 round away from taking it to our next and final map.
Question is it going to happen again? Is viktL going to be that close to getting the map win? And is GaRpY going to be able to come back? I mean, honestly, it's very possible. But GaRpY's got to start feeling a bit more comfortable with himself in this game so that he can deliver.
Look what he switched to. Not running the Anarchy off the bat. Switching to Clutch.
Good point.
Still going to come through, but does he have a potential escape? That's the real question. He does have the rocket launcher. He's doing some decent damage, but he has no health remaining. Injection's still going to be there.
He's messing up his movement so much, but he's going to find the frag regardless. And that little switch up from GaRpY was not fruitful at all. But at the same time, he's got it out of the way. He can start focusing on maybe the champions that he thinks could be more of a benefit to him.
Now, you know GaRpY really well. Are we seeing... Was that potential tilt out of him switching to the clutch, or do you think that was just him trying to figure out a different way to go about?
I honestly think more the latter than anything to do with the tilt. Is like you're trying something else that, okay, sure, the Anarchy picks first 2 times maybe didn't work, but to some extent it may be overthinking it. Good rocket damage. The movement from viktL is great. That pillar getting just in the way. We've got like a handful of seconds until the items are up.
Poor pillar. Did nothing wrong. Didn't piss anyone off. And he's getting hit by rails.
There you go.
Ooh, teleporter. He's not going to push. Oh, he is going to push through. It goes right directly into his face. But the rocket launcher is hitting some good shots here. It's 3 seconds on the injection. He just needs to stay alive. And again, viktL will just back away. Still with that champion lead. Still with 2 rounds under his belt. Minute and a half.
Injection, which is interesting. Again, viktL doesn't know this, that the health's being used. But there's a bit of extra speed for GaRpY for just a moment. We should get an exchange on the items. See where we're going to move forward from that.
That's mind games, right? I like how you pointed that out. He doesn't know the injection was used. And so when you go into a fight versus Anarchy, you're expecting that injection to come through, expecting to have another 70 HP.
You know, definitely. And it's always, if you can ever limit the information your opponent's getting about your play, if it's where it is on your map, what you've done with your abilities, what weapons you've picked up, that's great. It helps a huge amount.
Decent rocket comes through again. viktL seem to be on fire so far. Channeling his inner NBA Jam at this rate. Great game. Loved it. But still the champion lead. Ball is in his court. Stay away from the basketball reference, Jason.
Please.
The cricket ball is in his stump.
I don't think that works.
No, I learned a little bit about cricket today on the ride here. It was a really interesting game, actually. Go for 5 days. Some types. Anyway, so half of the time has been taken away, and GaRpY. So, okay, what is he doing now? What is GaRpY trying to do? Obviously, he wants to pick up the kill, right? Well, I think. But it seems like he's picking up a decent amount of items.
Well, what happened on the previous item? So, GaRpY just took the armor. Okay, just like that, it is explosive, and GaRpY gets the frag. But he took the armor. Before that, he took the mega, and then before that again, he took the armor. So he's trying to find where is viktL hanging out. And what is his plan? They might walk into each other at this point. We've got the Ghost Walk up, but there's going to be viktL landing a very important shot. Nyx versus Nyx.
Does that count as a midi because he's on a surfboard and he's flying? I don't think so.
Oh, that's like just constant middies then against Anarchy. And can't avoid them.
2 minutes left to go here, and viktL does have the champion lead. Does need this round to take it on to Corrupted Keep as our final map. Remember, winner of this matchup goes to QuakeCon. Very important for both these 2 players, and this LG on this high ground too is doing so much work. Rockets aren't going to connect. Again, GaRpY's actually able to escape this one in the meantime. Let's walk up, I believe, for both here.
This is bad at the moment. Oh, well, that was incredibly close. viktL was weak. We're going to get the players go back for their respective items. And GaRpY's going to make a play on this one. This could be a chance for him to get a frag. He's going to follow him up the bounce pad. Can he find him?
Oh,
huge rocket.
Damage. GaRpY ties things up. It's Nyx up against Thorlag with 1 minute to go. We're into the sudden death. Can the reverse sweep happen yet again? Well, not with GaRpY missing 2 rails like that.
Yeah, he shouldn't be missing those shots. Got to be careful of the acid. It's all coming out at the moment. But Victor is very weak after that. We've got sub 10 seconds until the armor is available.
He has no guns. He has nothing to use. You can see he was trying to pick up maybe the heavy there, maybe trying to look for some sort of, you know, gun to secure. Finally, he's able to get the rocket launcher, but that machine gun is not going to be enough to deal with GaRpY.
GaRpY should be getting the mega health as well, and then he's going to be looking for a way to aggress. A good little gap between the items. GaRpY in a favorable position for now, but that won't be forever. Not when Victor starts getting himself around the map and onto the bigger items. Missing again, big shots. Need to get them.
Victor slowing things down a little bit too. He does have his acid spit yet again. And we've seen how much damage that can really do. Plus the information it gives you when, you know, GaRpY wants to run away. Those not going to be used. Going for the chase. The heavy arm's going to be picked up. He has 24 HP left.
Wow.
He's just able to get around the corner in the nick of time.
How did he do that? He managed to take the armor on top of that. GaRpY is going to be devastated from that. That should have been everything going in his favor just then. If there was maybe the Ghost Walk ending about not even half a second later, that would have been a different story.
Always waiting around the corner. He does have Ghost Walk, so ideally he should be able to survive this, but he won't survive 2 rockets to the face. Even an arrow to the knee at this rate, but he does get away. Does have the heavy armor. But he knows, I believe Victor has the timing on this one. He's playing a lot safer. Oh.
That was good information for GaRpY to get. It means he knows that any of those hourglasses would be safe to pick up. He's even getting the mega. Victor is kind of abandoned ship when it comes to items, which is something I'm... Okay, he's got a good stack because he's Sorlag, and Sorlag has loads of health and armor without the overstack. But this could be an interesting trap that he's trying to set, actually. I'm very curious what is going to happen from this.
Well, what's the heavy armor? He actually uses his acid spit to zone, and he's on the chase here. Does he know this, though? He's going to rocket jump up to the high ground. He doesn't.
What
He escaped.
is going on?
Oh, he wasn't feeling confident of where, you know, he was going to be able to reappear, but he still wants this fight. He knows that Ghost Walk is down. He just can't hit these shots, only doing 14 there with the lightning gun, and now backing away. That could have been Victor closing out this map. GaRpY, I think, getting a little bit lucky there.
Unbelievable aggression, though, from Victor. I almost feel that Victor got a bit fortunate. There was no rails coming out from GaRpY. That was just a chaotic exchange, and I think Victor, he wanted to insert that chaos and hope that he would come out on top, because sometimes unpredictable play can really put you at a strong advantage.
Well, I mean, that last exchange did net, though. Victor finally that heavy armor. GaRpY wasn't able to maintain, you know, his stack here, and now Mega's going to be up in just a second. I don't know if Victor knows this, but that's going to be a nice rocket coming through again. The Ghost Walk. He has the chase. He has the time. This is not looking good for GaRpY, but somehow he rocket jumps himself the wrong direction with the activate coming through, and there's going to be the rail to close it out finally. Victor hits the rail when it matters, and I'll tie things up here at 1 apiece.
And that was 3 clean, I say clean rounds. There were 3 rounds, and none of them went to GaRpY, but there were 3 good rounds there from Victor. And he held his own on this occasion. We've got the damage very similar between the 2 players, actually. Only 10 damage extra for Victor. Even the items were very evenly matched. The thing you will notice is there's more smaller items picked up by GaRpY, which could clue you into the fact that he was on the run a little bit more often, trying to pick up the small items on the map in order to stack up from the damage that Victor was dealing at those important moments.
What do you make of the rail accuracy there?
I didn't quite catch it.
It was like 22 to like 18 in favor of Victor.
So that's Anarchy versus Anarchy for you.
Okay.
In Quake Live, it was a bit more clear because you'd be going against the same models, and it's like, okay, 40 to 50%, that's the kind of benchmark you're looking for. If you're getting above 30%, you're probably fine. You're looking at really increasing the other levels of your gameplay. When you're going versus Anarchy, a small, fast champion, and we saw that some of those matchups went on for a long time. It's not so much how much accuracy you're getting, it's when you're landing the important shots. And it doesn't matter if you're firing 20 of those and you're only hitting, you know, a couple. It's get the importance in first.
You can miss 100 shots, but if you get that one that matters, that's all that counts.
Definitely, but if you're missing 100 shots, then if you shoot one after another 100 times, you're probably taking up way too much. So
stop watching me play, man.
No, sure. Getting good at rail aim, it's gonna win you games. But if you're hitting 60% rail on Anarchy versus Anarchy, then you probably need to look at what items you've installed on a computer.
Well, well, we talked about the rail. Well, now we're going to map without it. Up to Keep going to be up next. So not going to be too much of a factor between the two. I think rocket launcher accuracy might have also been something we should have been looking at there towards the end. I think it's still above 20% for each.
Sure, you get a lot of spam going on. It's a lot of it's to do with zoning the champions out and making sure that you're maintaining some of the control on where you are, and it's also about getting just that extra damage as and when you can. LG is something maybe a bit more that you look at, and I like that we've seen the same setup from GaRpY all the way through, but now we've got the scale bearer from wichtL.
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on the scale bearer?
I cast the game earlier with ZSX and it wasn't really very effective. It was quite unfortunate, if anything, but I love Scalebearer. I think he's an awesome champion. I wish I was better at him. I think he's underrated and there's great use for him. We just haven't seen people using him maybe in the right way yet. So to be assessed, I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I really like him on Sacrifice, actually, because if you pick up the protection, he's just unkillable in a bull rush.
Yeah,
like,
he's just unkillable in general.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no. So we'll see how that's going to work out for him. Obviously, switching the Sorlag over to that one. But Corrupted Keep, you know, Anarchy on this map, a lot of mobility to be used, a lot of potential to get around the map quickly. Also, quite a few death hits. You do get bumped in the wrong direction.
No, absolutely. It's something you've absolutely got to watch out for. But these guys are master of movement control. We'll see if they can avoid the depths of the external parts of the map.
Well, these rockets are still coming through. He's only able to connect onto one, and that was just 4 damage. Still having
a little sparring at the early stages.
Yeah. I was going to say he's having a little bit of a rough start, but to be fair, no one's really done a ton of damage here. That's with the nail gun coming through, and the nail gun not able to do anything. But that's the Mega being picked up directly in the face here of wichtL. The GaRpY takes so much damage from it, it pretty much was never picked up in the end. And immediately retreating back to statue to pick up the LG. 2 shots left on his rocket launcher, though. None left. He goes back to the HMG. And I mean, like you're saying, small models, hard to hit.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Oh, the rockets, all of a sudden, I think we saw 60 seconds of actually pretty maniacal sort of switching around and chasing and little bits of just spare damage being added. But all of a sudden, wichtL just walks into 2 massive rockets from GaRpY, and that's going to change the game up.
Explosiveness, and no pun intended with the rocket launcher, when it's, you know, Anarchy up against Anarchy. It's insane. I mean, 1 second you're alive, next second you just got hit with 2 directs and you're dead.
But that's what you're hoping not to run into them. You're almost hoping to dodge past them somehow, and you've got these elaborate plans in your head to do something crazy. But when you've got someone good with the rocket shut down, this is going to happen again. GaRpY thinking that he can be immortal when it comes to going versus rockets.
Well, he's no Fallout boy. Now, wichtL, nice little juggle too with the rocket there, able to knock him up by shooting directly under him, or not directly, but under him. So he had no chance to escape. But now we're seeing the clutch versus Nyx. I want to see the scale bearer come out.
Yeah, I
really do.
I'm looking forward to that a lot, to be honest.
Do you think this is a map that just really favors him in general because of like the avenues to rush down?
I think, yeah, in parts, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to say favor. Just GaRpY's in a lot of trouble. He's picking up health bubbles. Has he got anywhere they can survive? He's got the shield all of a sudden, but the rocket, they both shoot at the same time. And as GaRpY shoots, the shield goes down just momentarily, and wichtL picks the right moment to have landed a shot. But as you say with Scalebearer, I'm yet to see the effectiveness of him on this map, although I do believe he could be effective if used in the right way.
All right, well, now we're going Nyx v Nyx. Well, actually a very dangerous position for GaRpY to be in, since this is his last champion. He's being forced to run away yet again here. wichtL looking for the chase, but he's taking a lot of damage himself. Mega is going to be up in just a few seconds, but that's going to be wichtL charging directly into him with the rocket launcher. And that was, I think, the quickest run we've had so far. Yeah,
absolutely. wichtL looking very good just then. We got a very good start from GaRpY, managing to take down wichtL's Anarchy, but it all ended very quickly after that. GaRpY made the same error that wichtL made, and then wichtL just did 10 times better afterwards.
All right, Anarchy up against Anarchy yet again. This little initial control here out of wichtL picks up, I believe, the Mega Health, picks up the rocket launcher too, which was such a necessity. I just saw these first frags coming through already. And again, the LG versus LG. Both of them just trading relatively equally, though. I mean, you can see on the health bars for both of them.
wichtL did take those 2 health bubbles. He was very weak for just a moment, and I think we're looking at exchanging items. GaRpY heard him hover above, and will therefore go over to Mega. Not ready to commit just yet.
Now, do you think the stage of this tournament right now is deterring people from being more aggressive?
You do feel sometimes that you've got to play more passively in this kind of competitive format. But often as you go through series, it starts off aggressive, and as it counts more and more down to crunch time, you see them the slower plays coming out, the more methodical aspects. And it can still be very explosive the same way as we see just there. Oh, I saw the scale bearer for just a moment and my heart stopped. But
He's just toying with you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I know you want the suit. Patience. Maybe we'll get to that one. GaRpY can continue his reign. Oh, that rocket, he ate a lot of damage. Injections immediately being thrown in. And he's getting chased down. The LG is doing some serious work here. The rocket launcher able to connect quite a bit as well, but wichtL picks up the kill, tying things up here.
If that rocket was just a little bit more direct, then that would have been fantastic for GaRpY, but he's not quite able to make it. And 10 seconds approximately. I just saw him. That would have been a perfect time to attack. But of course, you can't predict that that's the change that's going to be made.
Ooh, 58 damage. That's really good. wichtL on no health. If he just hits warmer rocket, this could be it. That's going to be the Ghost Walk being used. And unfortunately for GaRpY, he doesn't know the direction he's actually going so far. He's going to have a decent understanding, but he's not going to have the follow-up.
He's got to find a way now. He's going to get up to that 150 armor. wichtL on a very small stack, but if GaRpY can get in the fight correctly, there we go. He's found his way to the top. Eventually.
Oh, should be some decent damage coming through. Nice little pre-fire there too as it comes around the corner, but 27 HP.
Wow.
GaRpY. Guess what we're going to see here, Zoot. I can see he's smiling already.
I hope it's for more than 20 seconds, which is what the previous scale bearers have been like, but let's see, I'm ready. Bring it on.
Again, stop watching me play, man. Some decent damage being done though with the LG. 31 HP, and this might be it. The scale bearer, wichtL.
Shield.
Not even using the bull rush, picks up the kill.
The shield was used so late by GaRpY just then. And the thing is, actually, with scale bearer versus clutch, your bull rush still goes through the shield. So you can actually do some good extra damage, but he's obviously showing that he didn't need to do that.
Heavy armor up in 1 second. Looks like GaRpY knows exactly the timing on that one's going to be able to pick it up. I still love the nail gun. I think it's one of my favorite guns in the game, actually.
And it does a huge amount of damage when used correctly.
Ooh, that's a nice rocket.
That's a rocket that benefits wichtL to no end. But the following rocket there from GaRpY was excellent. And it was perfect for what he needed to just reduce the aggression he was seeing from wichtL.
And Nyx was pretty decent against scale bearer. Just use your Ghost Walk to get away from the bull rush.
Wow.
Oh my lord! Did not expect that kill to come through here. GaRpY now tying things up here on Corrupt to keep.
There was a little bit of a juke there from GaRpY, and wichtL went the other direction to try and get himself to the armor. But a direct rocket, even when the bull rush, where you get receive 50% less damage, it was a significant amount there to make all the difference.
I just fight a GaRpY though, immediately going for the rocket launcher.
You often get a lot of fights very early on at this part of the map because players want to get that rocket as early as they can. But they tame themselves and they respect whoever gets there first. It's fine, you'll take it. I'll get it a little bit later on.
It's only like a 5-second respawn anyway, so
yeah, exactly.
It's not a big deal.
You can grab it a bit, you can deny it for as long as you can, but at some point you're going to need to go and get yourself the nail gun or the lightning gun or something along those lines, or indeed another major item, and you'll eventually have to give it up.
See though, GaRpY wants to go on the chaser. I think he knows that he's been able to control wichtL and the amount of weapons he's been able to secure so far. Nice little rocket does take a chunk of damage out of wichtL, who again is just for the most part going to run away and going to escape for now, looking to fight in a different situation. That might be it. 6 damage on that rocket. And again, wichtL just immediately gets away. And this is just for me just ringing in my head of what you said before. His mastery of the movement in this game, dating back to his predecessor games, is really providing him the slipperiness and preventing a lot of deaths that he might have had.
It's neither, and sometimes there's a lot of stop-starting with this champion, and being able to get that maximum acceleration as quickly as possible is very, very useful.
It's a nice little split between the mega health and the heavy armor. So positioning to
direct.
that rocket. Oh my gosh, he's done so much damage. This should be a closer. He has his own ejection, but he can struggle with himself. How has he not finished this one off? The LG going to be used. He does a nice little 7 tick, and finally GaRpY will go down. wichtL gets that chase finally and eliminates that champion from his pool.
If GaRpY got away from that, that would have been absolutely disgusting.
Oh my.
Shield coming in. Has he got a shotgun to work with? There's going to be wichtL trying to get away, but he just gets blocked by the door. We've got Mega up. There's plenty yet that can be done.
He's trapped now. He's got no shield.
He's got no shield.
He's got no rockets.
He's got health.
And he definitely has that. You can see the positioning. He's actually able to just slide through that doorway somehow.
Just about cryptic. Maybe even the knockback from the lightning gun helped him a tiny bit. in some way. Although it makes me nervous when they're so close. GaRpY is going to get the frag on wichtL and eliminate that Anarchy.
There's a movement out of him. Whoa. I love seeing clutch. Like, people who know how to play clutch well, play it well. The movement is so crisp to see, and that was the Ghost Walk already popped out of wichtL.
And the shield is up. That was a big gamble from wichtL to do that. If GaRpY realizes that's what happened, he heard the Mega getting taken and he didn't see him go towards it, so he could be clued into this. What a rocket! This is it. This is you go in for the kill at the moment.
Oh, he's just still able to escape. GaRpY's not going for the chase. 8 HP, so he must know, or he must assume that Ghost Walk is off cooldown, that he's able to use it. But as we can see here, as we're spectating him, he still has a little bit of time left. 35 health remaining. He's still picking up those time shards, and he has it back up another time.
I think that's quite frustrating. I can't believe he's finding all this damage. This is disgusting from GaRpY. He's found him down below, spotted him for just a fraction of a second. I don't know if he forced out the Ghost Walk at all.
He has no health, so I would assume he's had to use it soon. Oh, what? Through the window!
That was, I've never seen that. That was stunning from GaRpY.
That was a great prediction shot too. Not to mention you couldn't see him, but to predict right there.
And guess how much health you get from going to those health bubbles? You get 50 health back, and he did more than that, so net loss there for wichtL.
He's still on the chase. He's on this aggression. He wants this, like you said, seeing red in his eyes. He wants this kill. And considering we're about, what, a minute 20 away?
There it is.
Oh, good read out of him and good presence of mind to realize that wichtL had to go that direction. Scalebearer v clutch and a 1-kill advantage here for GaRpY.
And he's still got that shield up, so this is actually very good news. He lands one important shot, LG, and he is going to be taking that round down. That is now 2-1 to GaRpY. We're getting to that crunch time.
You're getting anxious. I can see you like moving around your chair.
Honestly,
not sure who's going to win this one.
I feel sick, honestly.
I mean, to be honest though, this is some very rewarding, you know, Quake champions to watch. I know it can be slow at times, but we're seeing like masterminds and master movement ability players, if that's not even a word.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean.
You're absolutely right.
Masters of the crafts going head to head here.
That was close for wichtL. But it's getting to that point in the game where it's getting to those final moments, those important moments where, you know, even if you're not playing and you're just watching, you've got nothing invested in either of the players, you start feeling tense anyway. And you know what this means
this entire time. Very uncomfortable. 30 seconds into this round. I'm just tired, I'm sorry.
All good.
Looks like wichtL, again on the back foot here, being chased away. Again, exhaustion, we mentioned it before. It really has to be coming into these players. It has been a long match between the two. Mistakes will be made, and when mistakes are had is when you can lose these matches. This chase is still happening from GaRpY.
He wants this frag real bad. Can he lock him down, though, is the question.
Oh, that rocket! Oh, the lava!
What?
The floor is lava, 6 health. He's going to pick up a nice little orb. Doesn't get the tribal. I don't know why, it doesn't help you. But still. I think I've seen one tribal kill in the entire time I've been watching Quake Champions.
There was a period where tribal was very good against clutch, but I don't know if we'll get back to seeing that yet. Oh, the rocket very close. Gets a little bit of extra damage. And it's going to be so important for him to, for either of the players to knock out each respective other player's Anarchy, because it's such an important champion for them. And it feels like GaRpY has been on top of this for a lot of the game. wichtL got some work to do. Bit of rocket damage there from GaRpY, but now he's going to have to give respect. They're right in front of each other.
Oh, the LG!
Well, the rocket wasn't quite close enough, and that armor is going to be spawned. wichtL going to rewind for a moment and get himself back.
Oh, okay, so he only gets one of the megas, or one of the items here. Let's see, a heavy armor. LG's gonna do some work. Oh, GaRpY using that shield relatively early on. wichtL's not going for the chase, so he's actually one being hunted. He's the prey, and the predator's gonna be this big, giant robot.
wichtL's gonna really feel he has a good opportunity now that the shield's gone down. The LG looking good, and there's a frag.
I think this is gonna go 5 at this rate.
I think so too.
What a perfect way to end this one too.
I'm not gonna be able to open my eyes for the duration of that.
I got this, don't worry. Well, GaRpY's got Nixon. We've seen bigger comebacks than this.
We absolutely have. It's been a very tense series all the way through, to be fair. There was a very good map from wichtL on Ruins of Sarnath. Although it was close, it was the 3-0. Right now, it's definitely not that.
Got caught switching. It's a little bit of damage to himself. Not too much. Had to make it help to keep himself alive. That's a nice rocket, though, coming out of GaRpY, who has to run away from this one. Ghost Walk is available. Didn't use it just yet. Gonna save it for another fight.
Yeah, he's got the armor, he's got a good stack, and he's still got that get out of jail free card. just whether or not he can locate vichtL. He needs to get himself the lightning gun a little bit. He's done so much work against Anarchy with rockets already that maybe he'll feel he can do it anyway. That was excellent use of the machine gun, actually, from vichtL.
A nice little 45 damage done. He'll chip away, not letting GaRpY feel comfortable. GaRpY using the Ghost Walk. Looks like vichtL will escape this one in the meantime, though. I wouldn't want to be in GaRpY's shoes. You can feel the pressure here.
Yeah, and you can hear it from downstairs as well. GaRpY's just trying to hold on for 15 seconds. He gets a good rocket, can't get the midi at all, but he's forced respect from vichtL, and he's going to be able to survive a little bit longer.
15 seconds on the mega health, so sticking around there for that pickup's going to be a viable strategy here. Gets booted into the air. A nice airborne shot. The sick midi does land. He's looking for the chase, but somehow vichtL, again, the master of speed, Colorless Man, the Flash, is able to run away. A minute left to go, and GaRpY, the ball's in your court. You have to make 2 kills happen here at a minimum, or vichtL will be taking it to match point.
And the thing is, if he gets that kill, vichtL's almost definitely going to be going on to the Nyx, so that he's got that defensive ghost walk. So he's got to get a frag probably in the next 20 to 30 seconds. Direct rocket from him.
They trade!
Oh no, that's going to put us on the tiebreaker round. And this is where the duel begins.
Really? I thought it began like 45 minutes ago when the series started.
This is where the best man will win at this point. This is who can hold their nerve. They are both in almost unknown territory. Even though GaRpY's got great competitive experience on this stage, it's unknown territory. So
important too. Winner of this round is going to QuakeCon. Loser, unfortunately, gets to watch from home. Unless you're GaRpY, then you have a second chance tomorrow in Sacrifice. That's not your ideal plan. You wanted to make it in duel.
He wants to do it all.
You want to go twice. That is even a real thing.
Oh
and look
my
at that
God.
mid-air out of GaRpY. He's here to play. He's here to fight. He wants to go to QuakeCon.
Delivering that on this tie-breaking round, unbelievable. GaRpY's got to settle himself a bit, and he's just going to be giving up that mega health, and he is fine with that. He has got the big armor, and he's got a lot of rockets to work with, and he's going versus a squishy Nyx, played by someone who is probably crapping themselves at the moment.
I mean, that's just showing experience as well for GaRpY, right? Because he got that kill and he wanted to go in for more, but he's like, wait, no, GaRpY, just hold on. He tells himself GaRpY, by the way, and talks about himself in the third person. Says, hold on, GaRpY, we need to just delay a little bit here. We have the lead. We don't want to throw this.
But to be fair, I think both players at the moment are crapping it. Through the teleporter, there's going to be the chase. The LG is actually very, very good from vichtL. Mega up in a moment.
A lot of damage being done, and the 1 HP, GaRpY gets the kill, survives with 26 health, and now vichtL, he has time, but he has one champion to go. It's going to be the Scale Bearer using the Bull Rush, and GaRpY's already able to spot him out. The thing is, he doesn't really have a great escape here. He doesn't have the injection to rely on. He has to rely on his speed, rely on this movement. vichtL, can you somehow come back here?
This is it. Fortunately for him, he's got plenty of time in which to conjure up something. And using the Bull Rush now, it's difficult to set up properly, especially when Anarchy is a very, obviously, mobile champion that can juke you out. You want to catch him in some kind of corridor or something along those lines to really make best use of it. Otherwise, it's the mobility from one item to another that you're going to find useful. Direct there from vichtL.
That's a good start. That's exactly what needed to have happen. Problem is that GaRpY again is able to run away here. And he's actually going for the chase. That was a great shot. vichtL gets one frag on the board. He still needs one more to tie things up. And we're seeing the Clutch v Scale Bear and Clutch getting caught off. GaRpY immediately being spotted out.
Yeah, GaRpY wants to get himself on that rocket launcher as soon as possible. That's going to be his bread and butter, but that was enormous damage. Looking for the rockets. How long can he survive for? This is very bad news. The Bull Rush comes out on top of that. It's come down to crunch time.
Oh no, it's the 5th and final round. It's the last champion for each of these players. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Nyx v Scale Bearer. Who's going to do this here? This is going to be so intense. I'm watching you. I'm watching how this has affected you physically to see this matchup.
I can't hold on to this. The rocket there.
Oh,
he's got to jump away. How is he going to be able to escape? But vichtL, how is he so tremendously weak?
Both of them have sub 30 HP too. I think they're both retreat away, pick up some armor. They realize that could have been the last fight.
I thought it was over, honestly. I can't believe GaRpY did so much damage just then. vichtL could smell victory. He had him in a corner, and there was this sick wall jump going on that just somehow evaded a huge amount of damage.
Oh, the LG is doing so much work, GaRpY!
Wow.
He has no health left, but vichtL is on very low HP as well. The Buller's gonna come through. He's trying to get the connection on the end of the teleporter, but look at this. GaRpY backs away. He's spamming up rockets. Both of them on no health, but still fighting.
This is disgusting.
Mega health gonna be up in just a second. GaRpY gonna take that with pleasure. But look at this, wichtL up above and misses the first rocket, connects onto the second. He's going for the chase. He has a bull rush up in just the second time, and there it is, wichtL! He's going to QuakeCon. And GaRpY unfortunately has to look forward to tomorrow in Sacrifice, but that was an insane game.